Welcome to the Larson Health Podcast, where we bridge the gap between wellness, mindset, and empowered living. I'm your host, Kim Larson. I'm the founder of LarsonHealthWeightLoss.com, and today's conversation is one you won't forget. Our guest is Andrea. Andrea, do you still go by McKenna?
It's my middle name. Yeah, my maiden name.
Brankin.
Andrea McKenna Brankin.
Yes. A journalist, an author, a yoga teacher, a fitness coach, and dedicated mental health advocate. For more than 30 years, Andrea has worked across radio, TV, print, and online media in the US, UK, and Singapore. She is the author of Bipolar Phoenix, her deeply personal and powerful book. Yeah, there it is. I love that book. It's a good book. It's really insightful. Powerful book about mental health, struggles, and recovery. And she has been featured as a mental health expert in Dear Miss Expat. Andrea doesn't just write about resilience, she lives it. She's a Yoga Alliance registered yoga teacher, an AFAA NASM certified fitness coach, a rugby coach, and an active volunteer with organizations supporting writing, mental health, and women in community. Andrea, welcome to the Larson Health Podcast. We're honored to have you here.
Thanks, Kim. Great to be here. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. So, Andrea, thank you for joining us. Can you start by telling us about your journey as a journalist and how your career path eventually led to your mental health advocacy?
Yeah, so I knew as a young person that I wanted to be a writer, especially a journalist.
That's
So,
amazing.
I took that path through college and first jobs and all that. And when I started to have problems with bipolar disorder, and I really, really struggled, I knew that I had one gift, and that was writing, and that I could share my story through writing and through my book, but also articles. I write columns here in Singapore for a couple of magazines about mental health, my experience and things that I see and things that have happened to me, try to bring some perspective. So it's always been part of my life. And then it just was a tool for the mental health advocacy. But it was my own diagnosis of bipolar disorder that prompted me to really jump into the advocacy.
I love it. So, you lived and worked in several places, right? Boston, London, New York, Singapore. How has living internationally shaped your perspective on resilience and mental health?
Well, it's not the same everywhere you live. I can tell you that. I mean, when I lived in England, it was keep calm, carry on, keep your chin up, keep your mouth shut, have a beer, which was fun at the time, actually.
Yeah.
And the U.S. is kind of all over the place, but definitely the most modern place for looking for resilience and working on resilience. In Asia, the resounding overarching attitude is that you shouldn't talk about mental health, but they're starting to, at least in Singapore. And, it was something people were unpredictable. People couldn't be trusted if they had mental health issues. So, they had some negativity, a lot of stigma attached to it, which is the same all over the world, really.
True.
So resilience is something that I take with me wherever I go. And I just try to tell my story and live the life, because I have good days and bad days, and I have to bounce back. So I live that resilience even here in Singapore. And sometimes people say, like, local folks will be like, "Wow, you're so brave." I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "For admitting that you have a mental illness." And I'm just like, okay, let's keep talking, because we're not quite there yet. But Singapore is actually doing really, really well with educating the public about mental health advocacy, about mental health, being a listener, how to not judge people, how to be supportive. I mean, they've got a whole programs that are like advertised on the buses here.
Wow.
So it is
great.
pretty cool to see a government really step in and try to educate its people about a modern, what might have been considered a modern or Western ideal. So yeah, my international perspective is really, learning that different people think different things. However, everyone had stigma.
Yeah.
Everywhere, every city, every town, especially the town, and internationally.
Yeah, because the cultured norms are different from country to country. So
Totally.
it's interesting
And
to
city to
see.
city. you know?
Yeah, and city to city, true. I mean, you could go to Texas or you can go to Illinois or you can go to Michigan and it's all different.
Yeah, I mean, I had a job in Norwich, Connecticut, which was probably the lowest part of my life, the lowest time of my life, and I really felt a lot of stigma living there.
Wow.
So, and that was it's not a
Wow.
big place.
Now, is that where you're originally from?
I'm not from Norwich. I'm from Mystic, Connecticut.
Okay.
So it's just another small town, but I was living and working. I grew up in Mystic, which is a coastal tourist town, and then Norwich is more inland, kind of a real old like Revolutionary War city, or you know, smaller,
Okay.
smaller city.
Smaller city. Yeah. So, what inspired you to write Bipolar Phoenix? Was there a moment when you knew you had to share your story publicly?
Absolutely. This first time I was hospitalized in my early 30s, so I can't remember the date right now. 2002, maybe
Okay.
2001, 2002, and I just said I'm gonna get out of here because you're in a mental hospital, you're in a locked ward, the
Yeah.
door is locked, you cannot get out. So I mean, it's a really
Wow.
different vibe. So you're like,
Yeah.
well, when I get out, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I was like, I got to share my story. I got to help some other people. People helped me, like Scooter, and Sherry, and people that
Yeah.
Jen. People were there for me, and I just thought, I want to give back and say thanks to all those people by sharing my story and hoping to get in front of people, the story in front of people before what happened to me will happen to them. And
Yeah.
then it took a while because I was working full time and teaching fitness classes and doing advocacy, speaking a lot.
Wow.
But so I didn't have time. So everywhere I spoke, they would say, "Where's your book? Where's your book? Where's your book?" And I'm like, "Gosh, I don't have I have a great story, but I don't have time." So when
Yeah.
I moved to Singapore in end of 2011, early 2012, January 2012, all of a sudden, I wasn't allowed to work. I was pregnant, newly pregnant, and I had the time.
Yeah.
So I spent the time within the next 3 years writing the book. And then it wasn't really until COVID, again, time, that
Yeah.
I finished it, had it edited, and published it.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and a lot of us had bought the book because we were so curious to hear what your insights were about your struggles and how you've been living with this, right? And how you've been living with bipolar disease. So it's
Yeah.
really, really fascinating to read the book and listen and learn. So
Thanks. Yeah,
so
I
for
hope people learn from it. A
yeah,
lot of people didn't know what was really going on with me, and like they
right.
sat back and watched the horror show, not knowing the information, not knowing more information than me, for that matter.
Yeah,
I
what
didn't
was going
know.
on,
I don't
right.
know why I was like the way I was. And then all of a sudden I was diagnosed and it was a list of symptoms. And I'm like, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. And I'm like, I thought I
Wow.
was so original. But I'm like a typical bipolar person. It's okay now.
It's okay, yeah. You still are unique.
I work on
Yeah.
that.
So for those listening who may be struggling silently, what would you want them to know about the power of sharing their own story?
It takes a lot to ask for help. And you know what? Like, I'll just back up for a second, that I want for those people, for someone else to step in and help them, because that's part of the story too. And
Yeah,
as I mentioned, your friends and my friends, our mutual friends that helped me, they stepped in and they
yeah,
did something about it. And they didn't, like I said, they didn't know any more than I did. And they helped. So for one thing, I hope that, like, I had two different employers that did not help me, did not care, threatened to fire me, didn't care,
wow.
and then like maybe a man would come along and have the same thing and they'd be like, oh, like it was very weird to see the difference in how I was treated. But now employers are much better. But no, a parent, a friend, a trusted adult, hopefully someone can step in. But what you have to know is that there is hope for recovery. This is not a death sentence to have a mental illness. This is not the end of the world. This is not the end of your career. This is not the end of your life as you know it. No, there is wonderful options for treatment, I'm a pro medication person. It absolutely saved my life. It saved my life. It saved me from killing myself, and it continues to save me from killing myself. And I know
Yeah.
that's a really hard thing for people to hear, but that's the illness has a very high propensity of suicide attempts, and
Suicide.
that's how I was diagnosed, was
Yeah.
from a suicide attempt, and that's how they sort of nailed it. And now they're getting ahead of it and saying, okay, before we're diagnosing before you get to that point, but you just have to know there's hope, and educate yourself. Um, I'm just getting into this AI thing, and like they got it pretty good. I feel like they wrote my book sometimes. I'm like, hey, that's the way I said it. So there's information you can educate yourself. Um, you can look, there's a lot of podcasts like yours. There's a lot of mental health podcasts. There's Deepak Chopra and Oprah Winfrey, who have some beautiful meditation stuff. That is another way to heal, another approach.
Yeah.
Personally, again, medication and meditation. That's me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you my experience. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, be brave enough to speak out. You have to take care of yourself. It's
Right.
not that easy. It's not, especially when
Right.
you're not functioning.
Right.
But you have to push yourself to educate yourself and look for the help. There's phone numbers in the US, there's phone numbers in Singapore, there's worldwide phone numbers. The UK all have numbers. And if you reach out to Kim, we'll make sure you get that list. Who do you call when you don't have anyone to talk to?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you want to
Exactly.
ask a question. Am I going crazy? Like,
Yeah.
or whatever. Or I can't take it anymore. What do I,
Yeah,
what
and
can I,
maybe they
what
don't
do I
know
do?
what's going on, right? So they're struggling. So has it helped you at all that you're working out and maybe that you're changing your diet and there's maybe less alcohol? Has that helped at all?
It has. And in fact, my newest venture is the kombucha. It's so good. And I've actually reduced, after 40 years, I swear to God, I've actually reduced my alcohol intake like by 90%. It's about
Awesome.
damn time, I think some people may say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel great. And I'm doing it to get back into fitness. I'm 54 years old. It's not that easy to be in fitness when you're older. And you really have to take care of your body. If there's one thing I learned overall with mental wellness, you have to take care of your body. You have to
Yes.
eat well. If you eat like crap, you're going to feel like crap.
I
I mean, that's
agree.
just, and I got, after I had my baby, I really struggled. That's the crux of the last 13 years of my life, was struggling from postpartum, changing my identity to being a mother. It's not the identity part. It was the lifestyle. And it
Yeah.
was trying to, keep up with my lifestyle and be a parent. And then there was no room for working out, and I wasn't taking good care of myself. And I tried everything and everyone. I tried every workout, every trainer in Singapore, it seemed like, except one helped me. One finally did. And one doctor who does what you do, functional medicine, helped me a lot as well. She's a friend.
Awesome.
And I tried every nutritionist, but it
Yeah.
wasn't until I got the right formula together and actually
Yeah.
started to feel and believe and know that the sleep routine, reduced alcohol, reducing sugar,
Yes.
reducing fried food was really going
Yes.
to make me wake up the next day and feel like, wow, I feel so much better. Like, sounds
Yeah.
so simple and dumb, but people are going around dumb every day, eating and drinking and doing stuff that isn't good for their body, and saying, why am I like this? And it's
Yeah.
just, and
Yeah.
that's not simple at all.
Right.
It's not
But
simple.
but it's really hard also for people to recognize that it's these little things that they do that cause all of these problems. It wasn't until I went through COVID and had gained all that weight and gained, prediabetes and high blood pressure, high triglycerides, arthritis, and I was like, I've never had this before. What is going on? Well, the gyms were closed. We had COVID. We lived on the 41st floor. You got to take an
Right,
elevator down, and when there's COVID going on.
right.
Um, so yeah, it was all challenging, right? And you're not seeing clients, you're not getting out in the field, so it was depressing.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
difficult time.
yeah,
If I just make a little side note, during COVID, people understood me and my mental illness more than they ever had,
I bet.
because they were isolated. They were going nuts. They were like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I'm like, dudes, I feel like that every day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the struggle now, you all know. And I hated that people went through it because it was very hard, but I took a lot of emails and phone calls from people. But anyway, no, I mean, it is the little things. And to your point, making small changes over a long period of time is what was the most successful thing for me in this past segment of my life, which is about 13 years.
And keep up the great
So
work. You're doing great.
thanks.
You look fabulous.
Yeah, thanks.
All right,
Little
well, you're
habits.
listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're listening to the Larson Health Podcast. This episode is brought to you by LarsonHealthWeightLoss.com, your home for anti-inflammatory recipes, mindset tools, and whole body healing. So mental health can feel isolating, especially with conditions like bipolar disorder, right? So what was your personal journey of recovery? What does that look like?
Well, the very first thing I needed was medication. I needed the pain to stop. And there was two ways that was going to happen. One was to commit suicide, die by suicide. And the other was to get medical treatment to arrest and stop the symptoms that were making me feel this way. So the fastest and best way for me was 100% medication. And I've been on a regimen since I was 31 or something. Okay. And I'm, really well managed, and I have really good doctors, and everyone's on board. All my doctors talk when they need to. And I went through menopause, and everyone was on talking. And so I did that. And my book actually talks about that, all the different things that I did to recover. And one special thing that I think a lot of listeners will relate to, and you will because you're a dog owner, is that my family rescued a pit bull from death row in Hartford, Connecticut. He had been abandoned in the cold for 3 days, and then they finally picked him up, put him on death row. And my brother-in-law went and said, Anne, that's me, needs something. She needs a dog. She needs someone to take care of, and maybe they'll take care of her. Yeah, Loki. Yeah. So he went and picked up Loki, and that was a huge change for me, a huge thing. He was such a loyal animal, and we did train him to be a psychiatric service dog. Oh, cool. And now that was unheard of at the time. So that was like, let's say 2002, something like that. Okay. And there was one trainer in the state of Connecticut that did this kind of training, and he lived 10 minutes from my house. So that was dope. So we totally utilized that. So he did special things for me. Tactile stimulation just means touch. Yes. Hug. Yes. So the dog would hug me or sit with me, like put his paws on my legs if I was freaking out. Sometimes he would block the door so I didn't go running out, he was meant to protect me for safety reasons in case, I got around someone or in a situation that was unhealthy or dangerous for me, because unfortunately, not all of the people I've had relationships with were good people. Yeah. And there was one where the dog didn't like him. Really? And it was really, if I said his name, he'd go, really? He knew. Wow. And this person never hit me or anything. No. But he knew that this guy was bad for me. I bet I know who that is. You might be thinking of two different people, but that's my point. When you're of mental illness, you make bad choices and get involved with bad relationships. And that's Were you married to him? No. No. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. It was. Okay. That's the one I never talk about. Yeah. I think I know who it is. I'm not talking about the first one. Oh, it's not the first one. Yeah. No. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You're right. You got it. Nailed it. So resilience came in other ways, which was yoga. When I was in the hospital, I said, well, I'm going to do more yoga. And I was already teaching it a little bit. And I was learning because I was an athlete, played rugby. So I wanted to be better. And at the time, yoga was a really big way that athletes could enhance their performance. Yeah. So I'm in the hospital and I'm going, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get more certifications and teach more. And I did. And I have done everything in yoga from I stayed in Bali for 29 days and did a training, which was an immersive retreat, as well as a training. And also I did sound healing. So I've been trained by Tibetan sound healers that come from Tibet, which is pretty cool because I'm in Asia. So I have access to, that's really cool. Real generational healers.
Very
And,
cool.
I've done stuff like that. I think those are probably the biggest ones, the yoga
Okay.
and the dog and the medication.
Yeah, exactly. So in Bipolar Phoenix, you speak openly about your struggles. So what was the hardest part for you about putting those experiences into words?
Yeah, this is hard. Try not to cry.
Oh,
Was
it's okay if you
asking
cry.
people what they thought of me, because I had to say,
Oh,
I need to talk to the friends that were there when this event happened. I need to talk to the friends that were there when I was going through this. And not everybody wanted to respond. I had someone who had visited me in the hospital, and I allowed her to visit me because you have to have a approval to come up into the
yeah.
psych ward. And she didn't want to have anything to do with it. And that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, that was the hardest thing, was hearing directly as well. Not only if they didn't want to participate, only most people did. Most people did. And that was okay. But it was reading what they said about me. Like, one mentioned the drinking and that it wasn't helping, and one mentioned the shopping and that they didn't understand why, I couldn't get a handle on it. Shopping, over shopping too much. Still having trouble with that, by the way. And not even as a joke, but like in
Yeah.
all seriousness, it's still a problem for me sometimes. Um,
It's like a
it was
need
her
you need to
hearing about
fill.
my flaws, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's really
they were
difficult.
illness related flaws, you know.
So does it for the shopping thing, do you feel like there's something missing in your life that you
Well,
need?
shoes. No, it
Shoes?
feels like that for a minute.
Shoes?
Yeah, it feels like that for a minute. But what it is a drive for pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a drive for satisfaction and calming. Like some people eat, some people drink, some people go out, and there's my husband. Go out and
Hi, Chris.
I don't know, get involved with other people and do crazy things, for excitement and to fill a void. So yeah, to your point, it is a bit about filling a void, but it's more like it's a pleasure center in your brain that is not getting
Yeah.
turned off. That's a
Okay.
lot of what the bipolar connection is, and it's brain chemistry.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, in the microbiome, if you can fix your microbiome, it will help your mental illness. So, this is what I've learned.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So you could have a leaky gut, you could have, bad bugs in your stomach, you could have all kinds of things, and that will help fuel the bipolar disease. So,
Mm.
I've had patients who have Crohn's disease, have arthritis, have, uh, depression, and I've been able to help correct their microbiome to help them get into a better and happier place. Now, you're doing a lot of the best things that you can do. You're doing right, exactly. You're doing fermented food, you're working out, you're getting out in the sunshine when it's there, right? All of these things help. And then you just wanna make sure that you don't from all the years of alcohol, you might have hurt the lining of your gut. And so some practical things that I do are, marshmallow extract or bone broth.
Oh, I
Those
love
help.
bone broth. I
Yeah.
have that regularly. It's high
Yeah, so
protein.
that's great, and have it first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
So
that's what my personal trainer says that. Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, because that really does help, and if you have a functional doctor, that is amazing, and talk to your functional doctor
Yeah.
because
She's a
they
friend.
really know, right, how
Yeah.
to and she should know about is it she or he?
It's a she.
She. She should know about,
So,
your gut microbiome and how to correct all that. I don't know when she got her
mhm,
education and if she stays on top of it. I would imagine she
for
does.
sure. Yeah, it's pretty recent.
Yeah. So, yeah, and you don't see a lot of functional doctors other than the last 5 or 6 years, so
Mhm.
she should be up to
Yeah, I
date.
mean, all that kind of thing, adding bone broth. One of the healing studios I go to that does sound healing, they sell fermented butter, cheese. The cheese is
Awesome.
amazing.
Yeah,
And they used to sell kombucha before kombucha went commercial. So I
yeah,
used to love buy tons of that. So I mean, like it's an added thing because like I still will take medication. I get it, but any
right.
little thing that I can sort of tweak and try and switching the alcohol to kombucha, and there's some other drinks out there in Singapore. We have one called, I should have brought it over, called Curated Culture, and it's a probiotic drink. It's fizzy
Awesome.
drink. But it's not kombucha. It's something.
Yeah, but it's
You
a
know, I'm in
probiotic
Asia,
drink.
so there's ancient Chinese secrets and all that stuff. Ancient
Yeah,
Chinese.
we drink kefir, right?
Oh,
So
I
it's a
love that. Oh, see, I get that too. Yeah, I
okay,
love
cool.
that. Coconut
Yeah,
kefir is popular.
that's really good for your stomach. So yeah, so you're doing all the right things, right? You're putting in. We use seed. It's a supplement that we take, and it has a wide range of probiotics in there. And then we take prebiotics, we take postbiotics. So we just try to really help our gut. And I just watch what I eat. So I tend to avoid, in America, gluten is sprayed with glyphosate. So gluten, corn, and soybeans are the highest genetically modified and sprayed with glyphosate. Glyphosate used to be called Roundup, used to be called Agent Orange.
Oh yeah.
So that's the the history of these sprays that go on to our food, and this is what's causing America to be so sick, right? They're eating the highly processed foods, and all these highly processed foods are so filled with all these chemicals. And I mean, it's just amazing when you watch how they're made, and then what's a natural flavor, right? What's a natural flavor mean? So there's, it's all these items that are in the foods, and they don't know. I mean, I got one guy who's always, I mentioned this almost every podcast, but I don't know how old he is. He's got to be 40s, maybe 50s, and he's still eating SpaghettiOs and ravioli, right? I mean, it's like, dude, and he gets cases of soda delivered as well.
Ooh.
And he gets boxes of these, of these canned foods delivered. And I mean, the lining of the cans are toxic.
Right.
There's just, I mean, why can't you just eat a piece of meat and some vegetables,
Yeah. If it was that simple, that's the thing, isn't it? So changing
Yeah.
habits is very challenging. When I started to look at changing habits for my mental health, they were bigger habits, but then my life started to change. It took about 8 years to recover, to really get back to where I wanted to be in my life, with new opportunities, with new relationships, with being a better person. And then as I've been here in the last 13 years, it's been very small things like sleep routine, or vitamin D spray, or it was much smaller habits, to be fair, that's really pushed me towards where I am right now, which is really happy and really healthy. And so it's definitely a habit thing.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and that's what it is you just got to get into the habit of things, and you just got to start practicing and start doing, and eventually it
It's
becomes a
not going to do
habit.
it. It's not just going to happen. You can pray all you want, meditate all
Right.
you want. You still have to do the work,
So what do you think
whether
about
it's
people?
mental health or
What
whatever.
do you think about people going on weight loss drugs, the shots? Yeah, you're all
I've done
for it?
it. I've done
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, there are people that are qualified to be on these because of high sugar, because of kidney disease, because of metabolic disease, that they can't lose weight. So this has been an absolute game changer. It definitely, I have been on and off a number of different versions of Ozempic since they first started to use them before COVID.
Okay.
But nothing was as successful as the one that I have used in the past year, which is called Ribelsis, and it's a pill.
Okay.
It has knocked out every problem: cholesterol, sugar, body fat, weight. Yeah, well, Chris says weight. Yeah, I mean, it got me to a really good place. I'm right now transitioning, and I'm going to see my metabolic doctor soon, Dr. Tyler Lim from the Lift Clinic in Singapore. And we're going to work on titrating back. And then you got to do the work. Then you got to work. You got to use the habits and do the habits. But it put me in a place where I could create those habits because I wasn't starving or whatever, like fasting. It didn't work for me at all. It was very bad for me.
Okay.
Didn't work. At first I thought it did, but it made me manic. And then it caused disordered eating for me.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that just didn't work for me. So the pills and the drugs are great when they're prescribed properly for the right reasons.
And
That's
when
big.
they teach people how to eat right, and when they
You
teach them
still
that they
have to
have
do
to
all
work
that.
out. Huh?
You still have to do all of that. There's
Yeah,
no,
you do.
I think it's weird when they say like, oh, fast. Like, I think it was one of the tennis players, one of the Williams sisters said it was a shortcut. Come on. Could you do any more damage? You
Well,
know,
I tell
like
you
it's
what,
not.
no. I tell you what, I'm a certified fasting coach, and I can tell you that it works for a lot of people. Now, women
No,
are
no, no, no,
different.
no, the pills, not the fasting.
Oh, got it.
She took the pills. She
Oh,
took
got
the
it.
shots and said it was a shortcut. And I'm like, please don't call it a shortcut.
Yeah.
Because I mean it's a viable medical solution. And
For a
if you
lot
do
of
the right
people,
things with
yes.
it.
But the problem is that out there, a lot of people are not teaching these people about what you need to eat, how you should be working out, because it eats your muscle. So when
Yep.
you're doing these shots, it just eats your muscle. So you're
Yeah.
losing,
If you don't
but you're losing muscle.
lift. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
was in a
lift
good
weights.
I was in a good spot because I have a higher percentage of muscle than the average person,
Yeah,
woman,
me too.
especially
Yeah.
women. So I was allowed to continue because I could afford to go down a couple of percentage points. But
Okay.
you lift and you get back there, but you can't not lift.
Right.
And you can't, if you don't eat right and you don't work out, guess what? That stuff doesn't work as well as you think. It's not
Right.
just going to work completely on its own, like by
Right.
not eating. You got to eat.
You
You
got,
just
yeah, you
can't
gotta
eat
eat.
whatever you want.
Right.
You can't.
Right. So how has being featured as a mental health expert in Dear Miss Expat expanded your mission of advocacy?
Yeah, it was the same. So I was in that book a few years ago before my book came out, and it was a lot of the same story, but they approached me and they were looking for people in Singapore. And someone had said, well, Andrea writes mental health columns for our magazine. You should call her. So it came from that. And it was a lot of the same story that we've talked about and that has been in Bipolar Phoenix. So it was a nice first step for me I was scared. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm going out there in a book, someone else's book saying I'm bipolar.
Yeah.
And it's in Singapore. It's a worldwide book, but it was launching in Singapore. And I
Cool.
was like, oh my God, what if people read it? That kind of thing. So it was a good first stepping point.
Yeah, because I mean, you've written a book already, you're out there.
Now,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So what misconceptions about bipolar disorder do you most want to challenge?
Yeah. There's just so many facets. For myself personally, it would be the stigma, but the stigma is a very broad thing. But I want to whittle that down to being an actual advocate and talking about violence and guns. Bipolar people can't have guns. I cannot apply for a gun. Can a bipolar person get their hands on a gun? Probably. Most of the people that have caused so much damage in like mass shootings, they're not diagnosed mentally ill. They're not.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest thing I would like to see change is that, oh, they're just crazy. They just snapped. They
Yeah.
had unhealthy thinking. They built an unhealthy environment for themselves and their mind started going. And that's not a mental illness. That's things like developing paranoia and creating a persona and creating an environment for your mind that, makes you do bad things. But does that make you mentally ill? Technically, no, it's not.
Right.
I mean, it's just there are bad people that do bad things and they ain't all crazy. So,
right.
I think that's my biggest thing is that people would say, "Oh, just keep the guns out of the crazy people's hands," and I'm like, can't have one.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't even know like how I would say it. I don't even say it right. Let's be honest. But I think that's the biggest thing that they just assume people who are killing people are that people who are mentally ill or violent, and it's a very small percentage. It's like 0.7 or something very small, 0.07, something. I'd have to check my book. It's in my book. But I will tell you and what I know and what I experience is that people with mental illness, bipolar disorder like myself, are on the other end of violent acts. Because why? Because we get involved with bad people, because we take chances and take risks. And that you can be a victim of violence as a mentally ill person more likely than you would cause the violence.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. I'll leave it right there.
Okay. We're talking with Andrea Brankin on the Larson Health Podcast. To explore health tools that work for your lifestyle, visit larsonhealthweightloss.com. So, alongside your writing, you're a yoga teacher, fitness coach, and even a rugby coach. So, how do physical practices support your mental health?
Well, movement. What my Amanda Lim, my fitness coach, always said I was really good at movement, even if I was having a bad time. Just getting up, moving around, having somewhere to go. One thing in my book was being accountable to something, being accountable to a workout plan, being accountable to 20 people in a yoga class who are getting something beneficial from you, and all of a sudden you're like,
Okay.
wow, I matter, and I feel like I'm giving something back. That was a big
Yeah.
part of me teaching, especially yoga, but teaching, coaching rugby. I coach middle school girls right now, although I coached little kids. I coached my daughter all from 3 years old up. Now she's 13. So that's, 10 years of
God,
coaching every age group.
13.
It's really about giving back. Yeah. And knowing that I have something positive to give back to the world, as small as it may be, whether it's a rugby team or a yoga class or
Yeah.
something like that. And then
Well,
just
those
physical
young
movement is
girls,
just always good for your body.
yeah. But think about those young girls and you coaching them rugby and them learning from the age of 3 to now your daughter's still playing. I mean, that is a huge impact. If we had that when we were kids,
Oh
could you
yeah.
imagine how
Especially
it would
from
have
a
changed our
woman,
game?
from a woman.
Yeah. We learned in our 20s, right? I mean, we didn't start learning as a
From
kid,
men.
right? So, I mean, she's going to be a rock star. I mean, she has
I
been
know. I
playing,
hope.
she knows it, right? It's
I
kind of
hope
like
she is.
Amy's daughter, right? So, right, she's
Yeah.
been playing for a long time and she's a rock star.
Yeah. She's on the national. Yeah, she's on her way in the
Yeah.
national program. I'm really excited for her, and I hope Georgia stays with rugby. She likes it. She loves it actually, but
Yeah,
it's a family thing. Chris, my
it
husband, played
is.
for the Chicago Lions and the Midwest and all that, and Atlantis and all that, and
And we
so
play
it's a
for Chicago
family.
North Shore.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
played for Chicago North Shore in the Midwest and Atlantis, and was in the
Oh, you
U.S.
also
pool
played in
for
Atlanta?
Atlantis, the
Atlantis. Where
U.S.
are
the
they?
U.S. developmental team,
Okay.
USA developmental team, Atlantis. Yeah, they still have a
Yes.
team now. It was the
Okay.
predecessor of sort of like USA Rugby sevens. At least I did for sevens, but I played
Okay.
15s too. So, but
Yeah, I
yeah, I
played with
mean,
you. I played with you on North Shore,
yeah, in
so that's
15s.
15s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we played 15s. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Not that the girls don't go to sevens now, but
Yeah, well, it's international stuff with Olympics and like. I'm glad it's getting exposure, but 15's World Rugby World Cup. I'm going to watch the game in about 20 minutes.
oh,
So
cool. I
yeah,
like it. All
England
right.
England is playing Australia, I think.
Cool, cool, cool. And you can get it on your TV.
Yeah, it's my phone, and we just cast
Oh,
it.
on your phone. Okay, cool.
Technology is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So you also volunteer with Riding Through Singapore and Day Spring Residential Treatment Center for teen girls. So what
Mhm.
role does giving back play in your own healing journey? I mean, you
Yeah,
touched on it a little
exactly.
bit.
It's totally in my book too. I'll say sort of the same thing, that it made me feel useful. It made me feel needed, and that I might have something important or special or valuable to say. It gives you self-worth and self-confidence, to know that you can kind of pass that on to the girls at Dayspring are very abused young ladies, mostly
Oh,
sexually
wow.
abused, which is just, the stories are, I can't even, I don't ask anymore, because we used to get like some of the stories, and I can't even anymore, because I don't understand how you could do that to a child, especially a young girl.
Yeah.
So I try to be there and show them, well, here's what a strong lady looks like. And then we, as a family, here's what a healthy family looks like, me and Gigi and Chris, you know, and the writing through is usually also marginalized communities, like retired women or handicapped kids or people. And I did anti-human trafficking organization in Vietnam. I went and
Wow.
did writing through there,
Cool.
and the stories there were horrifying,
Yeah.
but like the
Yeah.
fact that we gave them a tool that they could tell their story. And when you get it out, you write it down, it's healing. And actually writing my book and writing the article, chapter about Loki, the dog, was incredibly therapeutic for me. I really didn't get over his death until I wrote that chapter.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
you write a chapter of your own life, and maybe that'll help you process and move on.
Yeah.
So
So for
giving
people who,
back is
yeah, and that leads me to my next question is like for people who feel overwhelmed. So what are some small like grounding practices, whether movement or
yeah.
writing that they can start today? What do you think?
Journaling is extremely positive and effective. Harvard Medical School has even come out saying that journaling is healthy, a healthy mental health habit, and can help in, maybe I've seen this, that it can help in a crisis moment. That's not Harvard Medical. That's me and some other experiences that I've had with other people, that it can help in a crisis moment to get your thoughts out, to write everything down. Your breath, you have control over your breath. We don't have
Yeah.
control over everything around us, but if you can inhale for 4, exhale for 4, inhale for 7, hold, exhale for 8.
Yeah, I love that.
4, 7, 8 breathing. I think I said that wrong, but 4, 7, 8 breathing. Anything, just holding your breath a little and just exhale can really reset your nervous system.
Yeah.
So those are two things that you and try to getting out and walking. Just walk around. Like there's a podcast. No, I can't think of who it is. There were 5 things that you do in the morning, and one of them was walk around for 10 minutes outside in the sun, and like
Yeah.
just get outside and walk. Just walk. And sometimes when I had mental health problems here in Singapore, I would walk for like 2.5 hours. But you know what? It helped me. My
Yeah.
friends all knew it. They'd be like, "Oh, she's going on her mental health walk," and I'm like, "Yeah." And sometimes they'd join me, and those are the things that you can do. And you don't even have to say, "Hey, I'm freaking out." You can be like,
Right.
"Hey, hey Kim, you want to go for a walk?"
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to
So
make it a and a mental health session, right? You
right,
just
right,
have a buddy
just
to
go.
go out with.
Yeah, move. You can breathe. You can try a meditation. A meditation is like a minute. If you can meditate for a minute, you've meditated. You're a
Yeah.
meditator. So, and then writing things down.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
writing things down really helps. That's amazing.
I
So,
was as a writer, I was surprised at how much it helped me.
yeah. Yeah, and just writing for yourself, right? I mean, just writing a
Mhm.
journal for yourself.
Yeah.
There's your next book. So how
I
can
need the
family.
time now.
Yeah, right? So how yeah, because right, Gigi's she's in school a lot and she's playing rugby and
I
I'm sure
coach
she's
there
busy.
though.
Yeah, oh yeah. So
I
that keeps you
coach at
busy
the
also.
school. Yeah.
So how can family and community members better support loved ones that are living with this, these mental health challenges?
Listen and don't judge them. Those are
Okay.
very big things, because if you say, "Oh, come on, it's not that bad," that's not the right thing to say.
Right, exactly.
There's
Okay.
more and more evidence coming out of what you should say. There's a lot of information and education that you can look at as a community member, as a person, as a friend. Say, well, how do I listen? How do I support a mental health person? They'll say, listen without judgment. So say, well, oh, well, how does that make you feel? And oh, I'm not sure I understand depression, but can you tell me a little more about that? Those are some key things that you can literally say. You know,
Okay.
yeah, like, hey, keep talking. I'm here for you. It's okay. You know, our friend Jen used to say to me, she'd say, "It's going to be okay." And I never had anybody say that to me before when I was
Yeah.
freaking out. And
Yeah.
I remember it being very powerful, such a small thing. And it's always stayed with me, like, hey, it's going to be okay. And like to never have heard that before when you were having an episode. Very, very helpful. So, and it's not toxic positivity. It's just, hey, things are going to change in a minute or 5 minutes
Yeah.
or 30 minutes or an hour or a day. So I think that's another thing, is just, you have to get through the moment. There's a song by U2, Stuck in a Moment. You can't get out of it. And
Yeah.
he wrote that for Michael Hutchins, who died by, I believe, was died by suicide.
Oh my
So
goodness. God, that's so
yeah.
hard.
So you're in this moment, and how do I get through it? And like, these are things that you can do. You can listen, ask how they're doing, listen to the answer, don't judge. Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty simple, right? Just listen, give them some time and listen.
Yeah, be an active listener. Put your phone down.
Yeah. So LarsonHealthWeightLoss.com, where we offer whole body wellness programs to support your journey from the inside out. So, Andrea, when you look at your life today, what does resilience mean to you now?
Yeah, that's such a big question. Honestly, it's the everyday challenge. It's the what can I do to be resilient when this happens and when that happens and when the next thing happens. I got in like a text at like 10:30 last night. I was already in bed from someone I'm training with, and it was slightly negative. It's the kind of thing that makes you worry, like, oh, can I talk with you on Monday? And I'm like, oh God, what's wrong? And
Yeah.
I needed to put the resilience into effect so I could go to sleep and get up and have a day and
Right.
be productive. So I guess what is it? Yeah, it's a tough question, but I think what I want to say is that it's a daily challenge, and I have to face that challenge whether I want to or not.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of practice at it. So, it's always a challenge. Be resilient.
Be resilient.
Work on it. It takes work. It's like health. It's like weight loss. It's like
Yes.
getting your cholesterol under control. You have to work at it. You can't just sit back and go, "Oh, I'm just going to wait till the day changes." Okay, maybe you can do that, but
Yeah. Yeah. You
it
got to take
takes a
control
little
of
bit
your
of
life.
you do, and
Yeah.
you'll do it. People will do it when they're ready
Yep. Exactly. They just have to be ready.
and with the right help.
Yes. Always with the right help, right? Because if
Yeah.
you don't feel comfortable with them, you're not gonna be able to get done what you want to get done.
Well, also getting with the right person to not be alone doing it.
Yeah.
Like having a health coach like yourself, or
Yeah.
having a yoga teacher like me, or something like that.
Yep.
You don't have to be alone. I think that's another really strong message is, hey, you're not alone.
Right.
Not that I know how you feel or whatever, but that there are other people that feel the way you do, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So you're just being that you're not alone and there is help available is a really important message.
Okay. Good to know. So you've balanced journalism, authorship, coaching, parenting, and volunteering. So what practices or mindset shifts have helped you sustain this kind of balance?
Mindset shift. I just have a really strong drive, and I've always had that. This is where, like, if I have a depressive episode, and my husband will tell you, like, if I don't get out of bed, or I'm sleeping too much, or I can't get to sleep, and then I can't get out of bed, those are some of the signs that, or I'm not working out at all or less. Those are the signs that I need the mindset shift, and that's when I have to put that work ethic into full gear. And with my trainer, one of the mindset shifts was, you don't have to do it all in one day. You don't have to do it all. Just do one thing. And so I actually did two things when I struggled. I would drink water and meditate.
Okay.
And
That's
that
amazing.
would be, and my trainer, who's awesome, amazing, like former gymnast, has all these degrees from USC or whatever. Um, and that was enough for her. She was proud of me. She told me that. I'm
Yeah.
really proud of how you're handling your water intake right now, even though you're being challenged. And I'm like, there you go.
There
Just
you
one
go.
or two small things, just to
Yeah.
shift the mindset. Have a success. Then you say, well, maybe I can add one more thing when I feel a little bit better. So add
Yes.
something else, and then you build on that. So
That's
I think that
wonderful.
answers the question.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? I mean, and that's exactly right. You take one step at a time. It's like eating an elephant. You just take one bite at a time. Just take your time. It's you don't have to finish it overnight, right? We all have refrigerators now,
Mhm. Yeah. I know, right?
metaphorically speaking. Yeah,
And we can always buy more elephant. Okay. Right.
right.
Yeah.
So, what is your personal definition of wellness after everything you've experienced?
Yeah. Personal definition is just don't give up. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up hope. And that's mental health, that's physical health. I would say that's my overall overarching theme. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's next for you, and how can our listeners connect with you and work with you
Yeah.
in your book?
Well, you can post, if you can add my email, anyone who wants to reach out to me. I have a long long name on email. It's Andrea McKenna 13 at Gmail. So if you see my name up there, it's just the first two names, 13 at Gmail. BipolarPhoenix.com has my information. My book, Bipolar Phoenix, My Effed Up Life and How I Fixed It, is available exclusively on Amazon and Kindle in the US and all over the world. It's got the lab coat white with my tattoo artist, Serena from Chicago, who
Beautiful.
Designed the cover, which is really dope.
That's amazing.
So I'm very proud of that. And she's done all my tattoos. So yeah, you can reach me there. And Kim, if you know anyone personally that wants a WhatsApp, you know how to reach me. So
yes.
bipolarphoenix.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Insta as XL Yoga Mama, MOMMA. There's a variety. You can Google me too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's easy to find you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah, Andrea, thank you for your vulnerability, your courage, and your dedication to reshaping the conversation about mental health. It's been a long journey for you. So your story,
going.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep going. Your story is a reminder that healing is not about erasing struggle, but about rising stronger through it. To our listeners, if you've ever felt alone in your challenges, let Andrea's story remind you that your struggle can become your strength and your voice has the power to heal not only yourself, but others. For more inspiration and health tools, visit LarsonHealthWeightLoss.com. And don't forget to check out Andrea's book, Bipolar Phoenix. You'll find links in the show notes. And until next time, honor your journey, nourish your body, and rise with resilience. Thanks again, Andrea.
Thank you.